Hey guys, it's Ryan here and we are doing our next VFX tutorial, and today we are teaching about how to create a turntable for your product. So you model something and then to show it off you put it on a turntable, kind of like this. So yeah, let's get started. Alright, so this is my cool model that I've created here. Very nice. Hey, what do you think of my case? So why would I want to create a turntable? Well, basically a turntable is kind of like when you need to showcase your product, or somebody's interested in checking it. Maybe it's the director or the creative director. They want to see the asset or whatever you've modeled. And this is the best example. It is a screwdriver that I modeled from scratch, and now I'm showcasing it off. Have a look. Alright, so what we're going to do is that the first thing that you want to do is make sure that your product is in the center of your world, or otherwise if it's not, no problem, just select your product and click Shift S and you can go say cursor to selected or cursor to world origin if your product is in the center. The whole idea is that when I go Shift A and I say empty and I say sphere, that the sphere is placed in the center of your product as well. So I'm going to scale that up just a little bit like that. And the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to parent my product to my sphere, and I do that by selecting all the objects within my model first, and then lastly, because what you select last is going to be what Blender is going to select, set as your parent. So select the empty sphere last. Then I'm going to hit Command P, and that's going to set parent, and it's going to give you options. Keep transform is probably just the safest route that you can go for. Then I'm going to rotate this sphere empty. Pull open your timeline, having my sphere selected and right in the center of my timeline. Now, e.g., I sell my assets on TurboSquid, and there they've given me a limit of, I think it's 12 to 72 frames. 12 frames. Wow, how far do you get on a turntable in several frames? At most 72 frames. So I'm going to go ahead in an end. I'm going to say 72, and then I'm going to go to frame number 1. I'm going to press I on my keyboard, that is with my empty sphere selected, and I'm going to be changing the rotation. So I'm going to select rotation. Then I'm going to go to not frame 72 but to frame 73, and I'll show you in a moment why. And then I'm going to hit R for rotate, and I'm going to press Z forward in which direction I want my object to rotate, and I'm just going to hit 360, and you'll see it looks like nothing's changed. That's because my object has been completely rotated around 360 degrees. Now if I put this at frame 72, it means at frame 72 my object would be back here again, and when I rotate, when I get to the end of my video, I'm going to have a double frame on this frame, like on this position, which is why I place this keyframe in frame 73. So press I again and rotation. Great stuff. Then when I press play, and if you are like me, you will wonder why my object is slowing down, speeding up, and then slowing down again. This does kind of look cool, but it's better if it's linear, which means smooth. So that means I'm going to stop this. I'm going to right click anywhere on my timeline, and I'm going to go to interpolation mode, and I'm going to make it linear. And you'll see now when I press play, it's going to look linear. It's like it hasn't even stopped, it's just continuing. Right, I keep pressing spacebar. I've actually assigned my spacebar to search because it's a lot quicker. So example, if I say grid for, it's easier, yes, for all the Mac users out there, because F3 you have to go FN F3. So yeah, my keyboard, I can just do that. Right, so then the next thing I want to do is, if you don't have a camera, now's your time to create one. I do have a camera, and I can press play, not spacebar. Haha, I got you this time. And now what I'm able to do, pressing in and making sure that under my view tab camera to view is selected, I can then go ahead and look for the coolest view. All right, you can see my object doesn't have any other objects to, well, any other surfaces or anything to reflect on. So okay, cool, let's do that. So I'm gonna just create a plane, scale it nice. Oh wait, sure, okay, this is bad, this is really bad. So obviously it's scaling from the center of my object, so I need to shift S, cursor to world origin, so that it's back at, yes, my cursor is back at the center there, which falls underneath my object. Let's go plane, scale it up. I was hoping to do that while, you know, playing my animation and having it on render, you know, which would be pretty impressive, don't you think so? Okay, so let's reapply that. Let me add in a light. So I'm just gonna keep it pretty cool, pretty simple. If you want to go fancy schmancy on your lighting, you can. Just gonna put a light above my object, pull up the power maybe to about 200. Yes, awesome. And I'm gonna pull open the size just to soften the shadows, and I just press play again. So let's have a look at what my render is gonna look like. Alright, I definitely want to get in closer on my object. And of course, what you want to do is make sure that your object is not touching any of the sides. Let's go to play again. And so that is what my showcase is going to look like. And of course, something that you can also do is just to make your render a lot cooler, especially if you've got an object that's got reflections, is you can add an HDR. So here in your environment, your world properties, just click on not on the color itself, but on that yellow little light there, and you can go to environment texture, and you can load in your environment texture. By the way, these environment textures, open, you can get them at like a lot of different places, so go have a look, especially a place called HDR Haven. That's where I get a lot of my environments. You can shoot them yourself. I've got a video on that if you want to shoot your own environments. So I'm going to load that in, and that can also light up your scene as well if you want to. Please note that currently right now my mesh does not have any materials. Go back to my light, make it a lot brighter. I'm going to go 400. Anyway, I think you get the point. So get yourself a good render up. A good lighting setup. Alright, and then next, of course, I have my render settings. Something that I found on the side here is that there's a preset. So there's a preview preset, and then there's a final preset that pushes your samples all the way up, but trust me, it's well worth the render. Otherwise, hey, 256 does the trick. Alright, with my denoise selected, and as well as you can see my noise threshold is set low on the final preset there. Okay, and then you guys know how to do exports, right? Because I don't. No, I'm joking, I do. Right, over here under this tab over here, my output properties, I select my output, and wherever that may be, export, accept that in, file extension, and you can punch in all the details that you want. Alright, awesome. It's going to start at frame 1, end at frame 72, render animation, and there begins our render. Anyway, I think you get the point on how to continue. So there it is, how to create a turntable, quick and simple to show off your products, and especially if you're selling your assets, turntables are really awesome. Some of the websites, because you upload just the images and not a video file, it even allows the user to sort of scroll around and have a good look at your model. So definitely well worth it. I know that I've bought a couple assets and they've had that turntable option. You can have a really good look at the mesh, especially if you're paying cash for it. You want to have a good look in there. So anyway, I know that has helped you as much as what it helps me. Guys, see you guys in the next video. Please subscribe to support what we're doing here on Active TV, and also like, because I know you like this video. So go ahead and just like the video. Might as well just go ahead, go do it now. Go like. Thank you very much for your likes, guys. See you in the next video.
It's all about humanity.